Hello guys, we are here in Taipei for Computex 2024. We've got Nay behind the camera, and we're actually at the Asus HQ right now, and we've got some super cool stuff to check out. So let's head on over and see what's in store. So over HQ we watched a quick keynote covering some of the upcoming new products, and then it was time for a sneak peek of some of the new stuff being shown off at Computex the following day. We got to see 3 new peripherals that are gonna be available soon. The ROG Azoth Extreme, this is a very premium 75% mechanical gaming keyboard with a full aluminium chassis, carbon fiber top plate, as well as a rather interesting adjustable gasket mount. The switch on the back of the keyboard lets you change the feel of the switches between hard and soft by altering the internal height. Pretty cool stuff. There's multiple sets of magnetic feet for different angles, a full color OLED touchscreen, 3-way control knob, as well as a silicon wrist rest. And connectivity wise, there's all 3 options available, including Bluetooth, 2.4 GHz wireless, and wired. Moving on now to the ROG Harpe Ace Extreme. This is a very light gaming mouse weighing in at only 47 grams. It's made of carbon fiber, and inside is everything you'd expect to have in a gaming mouse in 2024, including ROG optical micro switches, the Aimpoint Pro optical sensor, which is capable of an insane 42,000 DPI, as well as an 8 kHz polling rate with this booster adapter. Finally, to finish the lineup of new peripherals, we have the ROG Delta 2. This looks fairly similar to previous Delta headsets. We have RGB on the front and side of the headset. There's 50mm titanium plated drivers in here, 2 types of ear cushions included depending on your preference, and again this has tri-mode connectivity for maximum versatility. You can also listen to audio sources from 2 connected devices, which allows you to switch between conversations on, say, Discord on PC and a mobile phone call more easily, and the detachable mic has been improved to cover a larger frequency range for clearer vocals and a less compressed sound. Alright, that's it for HQ. Let's head over now to the Computex booth and chat with JJ from Asus for a deep dive on some more of the new products for 2024. Starting off with this really futuristic looking BTF concept design, which honestly just looks so clean. I need this in my setup.
You know, the whole concept with BTF was to try to make a more minimal kind of design aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Less cables, right? And so I think that's what you're seeing here, is that the GPU is kind of the star of the show,
yeah,
right? It's out there, it's externally accessible. This chassis, though, in its prototype design, will potentially allow for both BTF and non-BTF based graphics cards, mini ITX board at the bottom, your cooling solution on the other side. You could actually have it in different orientations where you have this angle design with a deflector inlet for more airflow. You could remove that and you could go entirely flat, or you could prop it up entirely vertically. But you know, I just want to see what your guys' thoughts is. Is this something you're interested in? Do you want to see kind of more a outward facing type of GPU focused type of design?
Like I said, I'm all for the zero cable look, but do let me know what you guys think. On to power supplies now, and there was an interesting little pink connector that caught my eye. Naturally, I had questions.
One of the cool things that we're doing to kind of offer, I think, a bit more of differentiation and distinguishing kind of design spec is going to be this little pink guy right here. So what is this little pink guy? This is actually our GPU voltage stabilizer. Now, the benefit that we're going to have is that it's going to be able to respond much more quickly. There's a technical term called transient response. What we're actually finding right now is we're doing kind of internal assessments is in actually 3D games and in benchmarking scenarios.
Okay.
We're finding about a 2 to 3% performance uplift by using this dedicated voltage stabilization design. And for some people that have kind of been wondering about, these all already transitioned to, of course, the new 12x6 base connector,
yep,
as opposed to the older 12-volt high power connector. So that also has an improved level of performance and fitment as well.
Now, to pair with your ROG Thor power supply, there exists the Mjolnir, a monster UPS that I honestly thought was an April Fool's joke, but it's not, it's real, and it's actually pretty cool.
So this will be a 1200 watt base UPS,
yeah,
but it will also be, of course, an ultra large high performing power bank, yep, you know, 100 watt USB-C, full readout for the wattage based information. So imagine you don't have a Thor, but maybe you have a traditional system, you can still actually see what your power consumption is like, right? You know, you have those cool elements. This also has Qi wireless charging 2.0,
yep,
so you could go ahead and put your phone on there, on the top.
Okay.
And the hat trick, of course, this is the Mjolnir, so of course,
get the
flashlight.
That's
so
I like that.
We have gone ahead and kind of thought a little bit of everything here to be able to add usability, because again, think about it, if the UPS kicks on, it means because you probably lost power, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And instead of having to bust out your flashlight on your phone, now you can just go ahead, take that guy off, go from there, and
yep,
you're good to go.
Yeah.
UPSs are not anything new, but I definitely don't think that they look this cool.
After adding the Mjolnir to my doomsday wishlist, it was time to check out a new prototype AIO, which not only had a bendable display, but also some suspiciously short-looking pipes.
You know, we just finished looking at a little bit of kind of what the possibility for some BTF chassis could be. So of course, this is already our current BTF-based ecosystem, but we had feedback from people that were saying, hey, could you even try to reduce the cables even more?
Yes.
And so this is a concept. It is not a, right now, kind of in-design product, but we'd love to see your feedback. Is this something that you find interesting? Because we had feedback from people, the moment that they saw it, it was like, hey, it looks really good, but you do see all that big tubing right there. So is there a way to reduce that even further? So what we had to do is we had to kind of retool everything and redesign it. So we have to have a new custom pump solution, customized tubing, right, which goes to the radiator, very, very short. And then you can see to kind of take up more space to give you even kind of this more kind of imposing visual appearance, this beautiful 6.7-inch 2K foldable OLED display. So where I think some cool feedback would be, what do you guys think about maybe proprietary versus non-proprietary? And a lot of what we've been doing, it's actually non-proprietary. So an example of this is you have traditional HDMI, you got USB-C, you have these power connections. But we could even make it cleaner by maybe going to a unified proprietary connector, which would look really clean, really minimal, but it would be proprietary. This is again all in kind of design stages, but love to see your feedback.
Now on the subject of cooling, I'd noticed a little glowing box full of intricately designed cold plates, which apparently push the boundaries of current cooling technology, involving a process that is best described as 3D printing liquid copper.
This is a great collaboration that we're showcasing between Fabric 8, right, who's a leading IP holder in terms of this type of technology, along with Azoth. So this is kind of a collaborative effort of showing this comprehensive.
And this is still copper, right? It's just like
correct.
It's like
it's actually pure
3D
liquid
printed.
copper, but 3D printed.
Oh, here we have one outside.
So very, very, very cool process. The actual way that it even works is pretty crazy. You actually have like a pixel-based print bed, and you actually have a water-fed system that takes the actual liquid copper, and then actually through a Z-height actually process, right? It actually scales up, kind of like if you've ever seen like a resin type of printer. It's kind of similar in that, but it's very, very advanced. And here you can kind of see a good example of kind of the history of where we've moved from to where we're going to be going. So we're really excited to kind of be able to show this off, to be able to offer something that can be ultra performant and kind of really take us to the next level.
And I mean, considering components seem to be getting hotter and hotter, it's probably good that someone's thinking about the future of cooling. But anyway, it was time to head over to see this small tower at the back of the booth, which seemed to be missing something.
So this is, again, we're kind of showing you a little bit of kind of, I think, innovation, kind of where the industry could be going. So this is going to be with the Cam2 technology. This is actually a new design specification that just got recently put out, and it was predominantly first and foremost targets for laptops. We've kind of looked at this and seen, can this actually be repurposed and integrated onto a desktop motherboard? And this is actually what you're seeing. You're seeing an example of the Cam2 technology being interfaced on a current board. This actually right here is a 48 gigabyte kit of memory running at DDR 8000 speeds. And there are a couple of cool benefits here in terms of that the two parts of the memory, you can actually have dual channel memory, but only within a single module. So you can actually have reduced latency, still ultra high speed. But where there's some feedback that I'd love to see what your guys' thoughts are, is the installation experience. Here you actually have pins underneath, and there's a pad actually on the memory, and you actually kind of have to push in the memory, and then you have to screw it in. So that's again where we can kind of try something new and different. We don't know if this is necessarily the direction that we want to go, but that's where we'd love to see what your guys' thoughts.
Now it seems like there's never any shortage of monitors on display at Computex, but one in particular caught my eye, and that is the world's first glossy WOLED.
Asus is actually in a pretty interesting display position in terms of the industry. We're the only current manufacturer that offers both QD OLED and WOLED based solutions. And we're also going to be the first that you're offering here with the AQDMG, the first true glossy WOLED solution. So traditionally with most WOLED solutions, you have an AR matte polarizer. That polarizer can be really great in terms of offering you a better experience if you've got a lot of heavy ambient lighting, which can kind of add additional kind of sheen and kind of haloing to the display. But for some people that have really wanted kind of that absolute best kind of clarity, that color pop, right? That improved kind of contrast, and even some improved sharpness, or what they call kind of true black performance, they've been asking for a glossy-based variant. And the thing I'm most excited, guys, is the price point. This monitor just launched on Friday at a promo price of $699, okay, and normal MSRP pricing at $750 for a 240 hertz, 1440p, glossy WOLED monitor. We were really excited to be able to kind of bring down a price to a new level, which is the reason why this is an ROG Strix versus an ROG Swift with our Swift series kind of being our premium monitors.
Yes.
Now, as someone who uses their desktop PC mainly for work, the ProArt series has been on my radar for a little while now, but besides the sleek aesthetic, the new LC360 has some pretty cool new features to offer.
The really cool item here is the resonance pattern. Outside of the performance, the rigidity of the fan, even at higher RPMs, tends to give a really good kind of tonal curve. So you can imagine kind of like maybe in a system where you're going to be doing a lot of more heavy rendering, or you're going to be doing a lot of more heavy loading and the fans are going to be actively running. It feels quite a bit more pleasant, I would say, as opposed to having like a fan maybe being like a 1800 or 2000 RPM, which can start to feel a little bit more grating.
Yeah.
It actually feels subtly more warm and less kind of grating. So
it's more of a focus on the tone rather than just the actual like noise level generated.
Correct.
Okay.
While still giving you great thermal performance.
Now, I don't know about you, but as someone who exclusively uses Wi-Fi for work and gaming back at home, I was very interested to check out the new Monster Wi-Fi 7 router on display, which teased some new features to help boost Wi-Fi to pretty insane speeds.
Two things that I think are really interesting that you might be wondering about when it comes to Wi-Fi 7 is one is going to be something called AFC. So what does this mean? Well, the FCC in the US, this is important to stipulate, within the US, is essentially now allowing for even more aggressive spectrum use. And so actually what the router can do is it can analyze the environment around you. If it's not contending essentially space that's being used, it can further increase its amplification. This can actually then even further enhance your speed and overall throughput for your Wi-Fi signal. The other really exciting one is a little bit what you see something here called MLO. This is multi-link operation. It actually allows you to aggregate bands. So within a router, you normally have like a 2.4, a 5 gigahertz, and like 6 gigahertz, take for instance. Well, we can actually combine those two together to even be able to give you lower latency and higher throughput.
Okay.
So this router will actually be the first to market shipping not only with AFC enabled, but also that multi-link operation technology, along with all of the other really cool benefits of Wi-Fi 7. So that overall just gives you some of the really cool stuff we're doing here at Computex 2024. I think it's a pretty cool range of hardware. I'd love to know, what's your favorite thing of the show?
All right, so that about wraps it up for the Asus ROG booth tour. Drop any questions you've got down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll see you all in the next one.